call it
Naughty.
thing. Okay, how you can now update and change it even when you're streaming on Restream,
Oh, very nice.
which is kind of cool.
The question is, will YouTube take it?
It says it's live.
No, I'm hoping. I mean, is it coming through smooth? Is it?
That's what I'm trying. I'm working on it. Bear with me. Bear with. Bear with. Bear with.
Bear with.
Bear with. Well, it says it's live, but then go set to a watch page. Yes.
See, something's working. Then so what is it?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but something's happening.
Something is that the good something's happening or the bad something's happening? That's the bit
I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it for what it is, and just accept that it appears to be yes, magic's happening. Magic's happening.
The good magic.
YouTube's figured it out.
Excellent.
Magic's happening. It's bitching about the bit rate, but I don't care.
Weird. It's normal.
Anyway, we're here. Good evening, the Suffolk Crab.
Scazius.
Welcome to episode 191 of the Randos podcast.
Only, a few more away from pod fading.
Rapidly approaching 200.
Yeah, we're old now.
We are.
What is the thing? What is it? What's the number where you then become like a well-established, top of the line, everyone loves you, knows who you are, you get a sponsorship podcast number? What is that? How many episodes do you need for that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm noticing we've done a lot of podcasts, but we haven't had any sponsorship deals yet.
No, we haven't. We've nearly got 100 subscribers on YouTube, though.
That's a terrifying fact.
And I don't know if we can order a plaque when we get to 100, but we're getting there.
Fucking hell. Heat death of the universe, we get our first YouTube plaque turn up.
Yeah.
The hosts are long dead, but there you go.
There you go. I mean, there's literally hundreds of hours of us on YouTube that people can enjoy and listen to repeatedly.
Which is, again, a terrifying fact.
Oh, yeah, It's fine. Good. It's what everybody wants. It's what everybody craves.
Yeah. I mean, there's all the other stuff that YouTube pushes. If one day there's an algorithmic glitch and we end up on the front page, that's probably more entertaining than half the shit they push.
Yeah. I like to think that the air quotes, the algorithm occasionally does fuck up and just random people get recommended us for no apparent reason.
That wouldn't surprise me, to be fair. That wouldn't surprise me. Soon we're gonna end up like if someone types in like, I don't know, Adolf Hitler, Madeleine McCann, Jimmy Savile, we're gonna end up on the front page. We'll be the ones.
That's an.
I mean, Bard has left the podcast for a long time, but I'm sure we're still up there. The amount of things that we say are complete horse shit.
Oh yeah, it's all fun and games though, isn't it?
I suppose.
Oh yes. So what have you been up to, Scares? Got anything exciting happening?
Of course I bloody well haven't.
Good.
I did this thing called trying to the Caspian and said, fuck it. So this is
I saw you got a little bit. I saw you got a little bit further.
Yeah, grand total of about an inch. I was like, yeah, I can't be bothered with this. And by a little bit further, you mean I launched the game, it crashed again within a few minutes. I was like, yep, you're done. Finished. Over. No more. It's done. It's just fucking over.
Yeah.
So I haven't actually made any real progress versus the last time we spoke. How about you,
fantastic. I finished it.
What, Caspian or the game?
The whole game. The whole game. I got past Caspian.
Did the glitching stop after Caspian?
Yep. Not a single glitch after I got past Caspian, as everybody said.
Fucking piece of shit.
But yeah, so yeah, literally, to be fair, the last time I played it, the Caspian behaved itself.
What?
I had no problems.
No, stop lying. Stop lying. Look, I'm perfect. Look, I will accept the fact that you think that your potato of a PC can play Flight Sim in VR. I will not take it that Caspian is fucking behaving. Don't talk shit.
It behaved itself for the last bit. And it was quite fun. And actually, once you sort of like, 'cause I just sort of like plowed through the last section, just sort of like went for and just not worried about it.
You just said straight line, all these enemies, they don't exist. I'm going to be in my
Yeah.
happy place, not in the
Yeah.
Caspian.
Yeah, 'cause I wasn't actually far off from getting through the Caspian anyway.
So what you're saying is you were at the last part where you had to talk to Miller to get on board the Aurora, and that was it.
No, I
So
had
the
to
last
go
part of
take
the
out.
Caspian did
I had to go
fair.
take out. I had to go take out the Baron on his oil derrick, and he basically you ain't given the choice of whether you're going to free the slaves or not, because he basically says to you, "Look, I'll give you all the oil. Look, you guys are clearly well equipped. You're clearly well armored. This is spoilers from Metro Exodus, by the way, just so everybody's aware. You're clearly well equipped. You've like single-handedly killed so many people by yourselves. So I'm going to just give you the diesel you need to get out of here. But all I want in return is the woman Ghoul, whatever her name is. I want her in return." And of course, that's not going to happen. So he then sort of like, you sort of get into a bit of a fight. He runs away and hides. You then get more of the enemies coming. And eventually you break through to his little upstairs lair. He attacks you and he pins you down. You're on top of the derrick. And he's holding you down. This has got to be one of the best lines of the game. I literally snorted when it came out. Because he's holding you down. He's like on the edge there, about to fray off the edge. And Anna comes on the radio and she goes, "Artyom, your head's in the way." And you just move about an inch, and she just shoots him through the head.
Beautiful.
That's brilliant. And then after that, you go on to the is it Tigra? Yeah, you go on to that level. That's all the not kind of sort of like the bits in the sort of like story bits in between, and that level is much improved. It's a linear level that feels open world.
Okay.
So you are going a single path through it.
That's the third and last of the more expansive levels.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's
And by expansive, I mean the ones that aren't like Yamantau, where you just run in a straight line and.
Yes, it is it's still a fairly it's a fairly linear path, but it's open. It's a bit wide enough that you can sort of approach with each sort of like point along it in like you can sort of like approach them different ways and so forth. You can go stealth. It's a lot more prettier. You're in like this sort of like valley. That's the sort of like forested region. It looks really nice, and it's basically been sort of untouched by the nuclear war. It was never targeted. It's pretty much safe for anyone who's living there. There's like sort of these two groups of people who are school children when the bombs failed, and the teacher there who's left there behind, the only one who's left behind, he decided better teach them how to survive. So they've grown up sort of seeing him like almost like sort of a father figure / or almost godlike figure, and sort of almost sort of got semi-religious around him. But then he basically at one point, some bandits attack him, and some of the boys thinking, well, we need to defend ourselves. They go off and kill the bandits and literally butcher them horrifically, and he thinks sort of, shit, I've done this slightly wrong. So he ends up shooting himself.
Oh, there you
and
go.
then it's all like, then it's all worshipping. So it's you're basically fighting sort of adult children. They're grown up, but they still act very childlike because they've not really sort of experienced the real world. And there's one group where they split themselves into the pirates and the pioneers, and it's very weird. But I managed to get through that whole section without killing any of them. There were some bandits there which I did sort of like let loose on. But I got for the whole section without killing any of them because you sort of start. It's one of those levels in the game where you start you basically something happens to you on your train because you're basically scouting ahead the main Aurora train, and you come off the tracks and you basically end up losing all your gear. It's one of those levels. All you have is a crossbow to sort of carry on with, which is fucking fantastic. It is once you get upgraded because you can pick up the upgrades off people like you can with any other gun. It's just insane. It'll kill nearly anything in one hit. It's like a more powerful version of the Tarkov or Tiskin or whatever it is, the ball bearing gun, and it was really good fun working through it and so forth from one end to the other, and it you definitely felt you're being channeled, but it felt like it was more focused. It felt like they sort of put the set pieces in so they sort of focus on so they made it more impactful, more interesting as you made your way through it, which I think actually what the Caspian lacked. In fact, the Caspian could probably have done better if they had to something similar. Sort of made it almost more linear, and sort of focus your path a bit. That would have probably helped it out a lot. Then, after you get through that section, you get another sort of, you get back to the Aurora again. There's another sort of montage where Anna's really ill. They've managed to locate where the medicine is at this little place called the Institution. In this much sort of Russian sea that got hit worse than Moscow. I mean, they're literally like they're on the sort of like not even sort of got to the city yet on the outskirts. Of like, well, this is we're hitting radiation levels as they were in Moscow. We're not even in the city yet. Mm-hmm. It's really bad there. So you end up going there and having to try and find this sort of like there's a military drug produced there, which will basically works on what Anna's got. So you go there, and it's that basically is complete harken back to the original Metro games. And that basically, it's basically being back on the surface of Moscow or underneath the tunnels. You sort of flip between the two, and it's a complete sort of love letter to the original games. That this is playing this sort of like bookending the game by going back to what you know, and it was real fun. The difficulty ramps up quite severely. I mean, it's, but it's not. I would say actually, I think Exodus actually of all the Metro games I played, it was the easiest one.
Yeah, so far.
I would say. Yeah, I would say
initially, like the initial Moscow level was a bit of a pain, but once you got to stuff like Volga, it was a cakewalk.
Yeah, the whole game is pretty easy. I wouldn't say I was ever very challenged in it. They pushed the difficulty back up. It still feels quite easy compared to the previous ones. I think the only thing that did me in was I did have to stop playing temporarily because I got to a bit where I worked sort of there's like only sort of like leechery type mutant leeches, and I killed loads and I spent sort of about 20 minutes going through the section, and then I died, and then the checkpoint was before I started that section.
All right.
I was like, oh really? I've been through several sort of like bits that would have made sense as checkpoints, and you've not saved me there. So oh fuck, so I'll come off, and I went back. But I did end up going back the same evening and finishing it off. Getting through it, but I ended up manually saving myself. Because I found the checkpointing okay in Metro Exodus. I've not had really any issues with it.
I never manually saved once.
It's pretty okay. I think the only time I ever saved was when I was quitting the game. But most of that bit I did start manually saving a bit more because the checkpointing got a little bit harsher. You then get to the Institution. This is also a bit of a homage to the library in Metro 2033. Mm-hmm. In that these creatures called the blind ones. They're gorillas, basically. They're not gorillas, that they have no eyes. They're completely blind. But they sort of wander around. If they hear you and you make any noise at all, they know exactly where they are. They can also smell you, so if you get too close, they'll sort of like track you down. But what's slightly freaky about them is that they're psychic and you can hear them talking. And they'll say things like, I smell food. Food's over here. Where is it? And they'll talk. And if they sort of like know you're about, they'll say, "Where are you?" And they'll track you. You're going to find you. And it's very creepy actually because it's like this sort of there's these big hulking creatures, but the voice is really quite sort of like almost gentle in a weird way.
It's how you talk for a dog.
Yeah,
a bit derpy.
Really, it is. It's really weird. So that sort of, I mean. That feels like quite a big game. It's actually you only sort of like deal about sort of 4 or 5 of them you have to avoid. Then eventually, and one of the other things you've come across in this place is this, and again, once again, just if someone's listened this far, these are spoilers because we're getting right towards the end of the game. I don't think Skaz gets finished the game, so I don't think he'll worry about this.
I ain't touching it again, man. No way.
So, they're what they call this like this sort of drug that basically protects you against radiation, and it's clear when you're working your way through this institute that you are in a heavily radiated place. That as you're walking through, you can actually see little flicks of light in your eyes.
Wait, so you're looking for a drug that stops you from being wasted by radiation?
No, that was a gas attack. That was just to repair Anna's lungs.
Right.
But you've got a drug this place made a drug that potentially gives radiation. Which
that's what I'm saying. So you're going to use that, and let me guess, someone uses it on someone they shouldn't, sacrificing themselves and making you feel like.
No, how would you really think that, Skaz?
Ugh. There we go. Beautiful.
Because you and Miller have gone to this place.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. So as you get out now, depending on what your previous action, how many karma points, as you get out, Miller will have the stuff to give it to you, or you won't have it at all. And
So either you both fuck it, or he fucks it.
Yeah. So basically, he gives you the last dose of the drug to protect you, and you have to ride back with this little child who you found, and you sort of race back, and you're still really ill. You're still you're still badly affected, and you're riding back this sort of, you're in that little car they have, Chris is sort of like armor plated it and made it sort of like best race proving he can, and you're just racing it back towards the Aurora, with Miller asleep in the passenger seat because he's passed out from the radiation, and you're basically sort of drifting out conscious, and this music is really good, it sort of builds up really sort of everything, and you just make it back just time to the Aurora, but as you fall unconscious. And the guys bring you in, and this is where all your decisions all come home to roost, because to help look after you, they have to do blood transfusions. Now, if you've not been a good boy and you've like pissed people off, a lot of people will have either left you, died, or be injured. So if you've got negative karma, that's what will happen, which means there won't be enough of them to give you the blood transfusions, and you die. Whereas if you've been a good boy and you've looked after, you've got all the good mob points, and you've sort of kept everybody with you, you get the whole crew with you, there's enough of them there to give you the transfusions, and whilst you're in and out of consciousness, you're sort of having little visions of Miller, and he's basically sort of saying, look after Anna, protect her, and she's yours now, and I was a fool, I sort of got myself blinded. Basically everything you said last episode about his personality, he basically said, I just got blinded by what I thought the world was like.
Predictable, god damn.
Yeah. And you end up, and he ends up, they've located this place on the map where they should be safe, and you end up going there and forming a new society, and you're basically going to start, it's implied that you're going to start sort of spreading out, sort of like bringing people there, sort of forming a new community outside the surface, maybe even go back to the metro and retrieve people and bring them out there, which is 6,000 kilometers away at this point. So,
good luck.
Yeah. And you have got to travel through quite hostile territory to get there. So, the Baron's people. The Baron had I think something like 7,000 soldiers in his army. They were all just out when you were there. They're all busy elsewhere.
Artyom took out an entire race single-handedly. The Baron's got fucking nothing. Artyom will go, mate, I'll just drop a fucking nuke on you like I did them. Suck one, son.
Yeah. Oh, here's the telephone number of the Dark Ones. Give them a shout and see what happens to them. Oh, wait, you can't.
Because I fucked them up.
Yeah.
Except for this little kid.
Except for this one little kid who's quite sweet. And they'll go, what the Dark Ones? I don't know. They've not appeared once in this game because we've left the metro. So, yeah, it's...
the Dark Ones are chilling out where you found the nice safe zone with their deck chairs and their fucking drinks with the little umbrellas in them. What took you guys so long?
Yeah.
So fuck off, guys.
Yeah. Who are you guys? We're the Light Ones. We're the Dark Ones brothers.
So
we're light mode.
What the fuck are you guys doing here? Well, yeah, we don't live very well in radiation like you guys, so, we figured we'd come here.
Yeah. We were like, this place is really shit. Shall we just leave? And so we thought we did. We wondered why you guys took so long to come around to that conclusion.
So, yeah, sorry, humans, stubborn.
Yeah. We just kept going for it. We kept surviving. You said, you literally could just walk out your door and you'd been here, so it's all right.
Well, right, so, you know how it is.
Yeah. They sort of look at you and you go, oh, bless.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah.
And then they nuke you.
They psychically blitz your head, don't they? So
they say, you're a pussy. You're a pussy. They're just like, mate, go vegan.
Never. And that's when I pushed the nuke button.
Science was wrong. Nuke. That one. And that's why everyone's rocking backwards and forwards. Oh my god, what do you mean? I would have won the lottery if I'd have just handed in that ticket.
Yes, so that's...
What do you mean my wife doesn't really like my casserole?
No, I'm sure Anna really likes the casserole.
God damn it.
Bless her.
She survives, I take it.
So?
She survives, I take it.
Yeah, your magic drug fixer. This magic drug's been in a radiated area for like sort of 2 decades. That's fine. It hasn't degraded, hasn't been damaged by the radiation. It fixes her.
I mean, I always knew that if you needed to preserve things for a long time, fuck a fridge, just stick it in the microwave, right?
Yeah,
No?
yeah. I love the bit. There's a bit. So where you find the drug, you walk into like this sort of downstairs sort of like lab place. You walk in. There's a massive like hole in the wall directly opposite where you are. It's clearly where you're going to leave from. He gets out the drug. He opens the door, goes, "Yes, I've got it." Closes the case up. There's a blind one then at the door, sort of sniffing out for you. I'm like, Artyom, he can't see you. There's a fucking big hole right behind you that you can go into and escape. Don't stand there, because of course this is what you're in a scripted scene. No, he just stands there as the blind one that we know can sniff us out, walks through the door, and comes up and attacks us. Because let's be honest, Artyom has never been the brightest button in the box.
Mate, he nuked an entire race. He's a genius. He was a master soldier. It was a key plot point the entire time.
Yeah. Which ironically, the smarter choice would have been to not nuke him. Just saying. So he was
sent to the other place. He was sent to find the Rangers because he was the most capable man for the job.
Yeah, he was the only one that had left who could carry a gun. So
the best, smartest person there.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Dad says anyway. So
and he's probably thinking, "Fucking finally got rid of him."
Bless. Yeah, I'm just feeling myself. So the whole time I was like, Artyom, just walk backwards and you're safe. It can't follow you. No, you're going to stand there till it finds you. Then you're going to jump down the hole, which it somehow manages to squeeze through. This thing's huge. It's like it's like a massive. It's bigger than a person, definitely.
It greased itself up before it came for you.
It clearly did, and that makes me really concerned for what's planning to do to me. It sort of follows you down, and you end up having a fight on a staircase before it gets impaled. And then your other dad turns up, your father-in-law turns up.
Grumpy old cunt.
Miller, bless him.
Bless him.
Bless his little naive self.
Bless his not so cotton socks over his metal legs.
Yeah.
Dickhead.
Yeah. But yeah, I get voted as in shopping. So I used to get the Spartans. At the end, they all unanimously vote, despite the fact you're one of the lowest, the lowest ranking of them. They all unanimously that you're going to be in charge of them from now on. But I also love throughout the entire games because Artyom doesn't speak in game, and he speaks like all the diary entries, and people just talk to you like you're going to talk back, and when you don't, they're like just all like, yeah, okay. It's like Artyom's now in charge. He's never spoke to anybody. I think Artyom is moot.
Yeah, which means he's really, really, really intelligent because he knows. He knows that actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, I'm going to go kill a load of bandits.
Exactly. I mean, do you think anyone on that train's going to fuck with the guy? I mean, he was happy just to nuke an entire race, kill hundreds of people. You know, he was just like, fuck it. Yeah, mate, I'm going to defend this station, right? But I've got some dog tags. Could you take these to my mate? Yeah, sure. Bam, dedicated. Job done. Like, yep, he's definitely leader material.
Yep. I just vision Artyom's command structure is they walk in and say, Artyom, what should we do? And he picks up the gun, sort of nods at it, and he points at some bandits in the distance and nods at them and hands the gun over.
That's it.
I appreciate that's his command structure.
See them, do them. All right, and Artyom, got you.
Yeah. That is. But joking aside, I actually did after the Caspian. I actually really liked the last sort of 2 proper levels of it. It was nice going back to something that looked a bit nicer, and it was also nice sort of being back into all the Metro-esque style thing from the earliest games. It was nice going back to it. So I did enjoy the last 2 levels of the game. Caspian is a bit of a.
Did What's His Nut marry the girl, the woman, and the daughter?
Oh yeah, that happens happens after Caspian.
Oh, there you go.
So after Caspian, you have the wedding. You have the wedding. And he marries one.
Oh, Stefan. Sorry, I forgot his name.
Stefan, yeah. And that's doing this little celebration is when Anna starts coughing up blood properly.
Oh, brilliant! What a great way for the marriage.
She says, "I'm so sorry to have ruined your wedding." And they're like, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's okay, it's fine. You just cough blood up all over the table. It's fine, it's okay.
Food was shit anyway.
yeah. So
Miller made it.
and your trains. Somehow you've got on the back because after Caspian, if you go to all the back, there's like another carriage that you've somehow acquired that's got like where the car sits on that you had in the Caspian. You just took the car with you. For reasons.
There you go.
And Chris loves it. He's out there. He's got an old engineering workshop up there. And he's out there sort of repairing the car and so forth and putting it together. And also the sort of final sort of like intermission bit between Tiago and the sort of last sort of dead city level. You've got sort of Anna sort of like really ill, like sort of on death's door, like ill, and it's like, yeah, you need to sort of like go and you. That's actually quite atmospheric because as you sort of walk outside the train, your radiation clicker starts counting off. It starts ticking because you're approaching this city. So she's got sort of and it's only just gentle, just enough to give us that sort of ominous presence that you're sort of like getting somewhere dangerous. It's got good atmosphere. It's got good atmosphere. Well, I say the story is very predictable. There's no sort of big twist or turns. Again, I think a lot of the Metro games, the storylines haven't been they're not exactly as you see knowledge. You can sort of see where they're going quite early on most of the stories. So I'm not sort of, that's all part of the course of the Metro series, that sort of stuff. But it was an enjoyable one, but the last 2 hours were good fun. And when I was done, I was kind of sad. I was like, oh, I finished it now. I'm never going to play it again. I just don't think I can face it. But I finished it now.
It's done now. I don't think I can ever face the Caspian again.
No. That was just like, I finished it. I just don't think I can handle
In 2033, there'll be the Caspian patch that actually fixes it.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a like a new game plus mode on it. Where you go in and you have all your weapons, all your weapon upgrades unlocked right from the start.
Okay.
Well, you know how easy it is with just your normal weapons.
I was going to say, way to turn the difficulty down even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we've done in New Game Plus, right, is we've made it so that Caspian doesn't crash. Because that was a feature, not a bug.
Yeah. They could have done so much more with the Caspian if they'd worked on it.
They could have done. I don't understand how a game that came out in 2019 hasn't had what the fuck ever is causing that issue patched.
Yeah.
And like I said, they've done a complete rework on the lighting system. That they've released an entirely different version of the game, and they still haven't patched it.
Yeah. It's very weird. It's a very weird bug because it's only on that level. So see something about that level, of course, but perhaps it's cursed.
Probably because it's shit.
Oh. That's cursed. They could have done so much more of that. If there's so much parts of Caspian that you just said no. The Caspian is actually quite. I think actually the level's too big as its problem. There's so much to explore and go around if you really want to. There's nothing very particularly interesting. There's no desire to explore very much, to be honest. I think this was a big issue. Which they sort of solved in the last one by making them so self-contained. But yeah, it was over. I did it. After the Caspian was like sort of making me dislike the game, but after the last 2 levels, I actually went back to sort of liking the game again. Just a pity about the Caspian.
Yeah,
it's just a bit now. You just have to suffer through and get around it as quick as you can. Which, to be fair, actually, I think you could get now. Once I know what to do, you could get through it fairly quickly.
I mean, yeah, but you could say that about most of the levels. Even Volga isn't actually. Yeah. It's not that big.
No, it's not.
It feels big if you just drift about a bit. But I mean, if you were to go straight from A to B, or just to like, you talk to the people on the train, they tell you where to go. If you were to just to fucking plow in there, you'd have no problem at all.
Yeah. If you didn't bother the size or little mini side missions, you'd be. Yeah, but
even with the side missions, I mean, I still got through majority of Caspian probably about 4 hours faster than you did. And we both did the same number of quests leading up to that point. So I mean, they're not that long. You'd have to literally stand there and watch the sunrise 15 times for it to, take a significant amount of time.
No. Yeah, so interesting game. Feels pretty much. I'm not sure if they might make another Metro game. Feels somewhat concluded.
I hope they don't.
Yeah, this feels like an ending to it, like a nice boof. We've closed it off nicely. It feels a very definitive ending to it. To sort of get where I mean, perhaps do another Metro game, but go for a completely different character. Someone do a different story, perhaps a Metro in a different part of the world. Different part of Russia, perhaps another Metro. Because explore because Russia's a big place.
They did originally plan to do stuff in like Paris and London and stuff like that. I believe there was concept art for other parts of the world. At least I think there was. But no, I just hope they leave it. I think that's another one like Cyberpunk. Just leave it.
Yeah.
If you start adding in more stuff, more story. I mean, Dmitry, is that the guy's name? The guy who wrote the book?
Yeah. I think so, yes.
Just fucking leave it, mate. You've got 3 books out of it, right? 3 books out of the first one. You've stretched it out to 3 now. You've pulled your nearly fucking Lord of the Rings. Call it done. Because you're just going to stretch it out thin. He was already struggling when it came to characters for Exodus. Let it go. Just let it fucking go. Because otherwise, everything's going to turn into like every villain you're going to see is going to be a Saturday morning cartoon villain. We've already experienced all of the emotions we need to experience in the metros of Moscow. I mean, dude, I don't think I'd give a flying fuck if I went to, oh, look, we're in London. Woo, London Underground. Couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, there'd be more of an issue because there'd be a lot less guns around.
Yeah, well, it's just people start running around knifing each other.
Yeah. In London 2033, we use airsoft guns.
In fairness, we've already had games like Metro take place in London. And they were fine. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Metro doesn't need it.
No, it feels like a conclusion. It feels concluded.
Yeah.
So, but let's see what Stalker 2 brings.
Ugh, God no.
So, yeah. So Metro, all done. I did dabble with another game briefly. Not got very far through it. I'm not sure quite on the pronunciation of this. It's called Automachef. And it's in the genre of sort of like factory making games or like sort of like building games. You remember that game called Space Chem I talked about several years ago? Where you had like sort of like chemical elements and you had to use like combiners and tools to like put them together to make other chemicals, and then like do like sort of chemical reactions together to make the bigger chemicals and so forth.
Right.
Yeah, that's all the sort of genre of you take sort of small parts, and you have to then do processes to them to then combine them together to make a final thing. So you are running a robotic kitchen, and you have to. It's a puzzle game, pretty much, and you have to basically. People
I'm getting Amazing Machine vibes.
Yeah, you're sort of along that loose, but people come sort of like make orders, and they'll be restricted to what they're going to be, and then you have to design a production line to make the item. So your bare basics, you have a dispenser, which dispenses an ingredient. You tell it which ingredient to dispense. You have dumb arms, robot arms, and these pick things up. So certain things you can move on conveyors, certain things have to be sort of picked up and put down. So, for example, onto a grill, you need to pick it up and put it down onto the grill. So you have like dumb robot arms. So these are robot arms that will, anything that comes near them, they'll just pick up and move it to the next stage. So you basically say, right, this direction you're pointing, anything that comes, so let's say it's left to right, anything that comes on the left hand side, you just pick up and immediately put on the right hand side. You can also get smart robot arms that have like a filter function. So you can say, only pick up on the left hand side if that's criteria. So you'd use that with your grill, for example. You have a dispenser that dispenses a raw burger. Dumb arm picks up, puts on the grill, and then that burger that gets cooked becomes a cooked burger. So you have a smart arm that goes, oh, right, I only pick up cooked burgers, therefore I'll pick up and put it on to the next stage. Eventually you fill these all through into an assembler, and the assembler then puts together, you tell it what recipe to do, and it puts together the recipe and makes an output. and as long as that fulfills the order, you get a point. So you're designing these production lines. You've got other machines, so you might have like certain food. For example, cooking is one example approach. You need to do ingredients. Some you'll need to like put through a food processor. So like cheese goes through a food processor, gets sliced up. It uses like a whole big lump of cheese to make like enough sliced cheese for one burger. Quite wasteful, but you know. And then you sort of guide it all towards this assembler. So you're marked on how much power you're using for your thing. So the less things you have moving, the less things you have running at a time, so forth, the better.
Efficiency.
You're marked on how much. Sorry.
Efficiency.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of like you're marked on how many ingredients you waste, and you're also marked on how many ones you successful meals served. As long as you hit that threshold, then you're part. If you hit all 3 targets, you'll pass the level. So to help control this, you have these little order counter machines. You say, okay, when an order comes in, you need to do this. You can then connect it up to the other bit. So you may have a machine that says, okay, when an order comes from a cheeseburger, I'm going to tell the dispenser that makes the burgers, the burger baps, and the cheese to all dispense one each. And I'm going to switch on the grill. And you can either have it switched on for the whole time the order's running, or if you get really sort of fine, you can sort of work out to the exact second how long it needs to grill the burger for, and then switch off, so you can then sort of set a timer. So and that obviously helps dramatically with your efficiency, your energy usage. So the complexity comes is at certain points you'll get a stage where you start having multiple orders come through for different things. The only thing I've found so far, though, is there's no, at least that I've seen, perhaps you go and look the tools later on, there's no way to sort of like, if you need a burger bap, you have to dispense with a burger bap. If you're just selling both plain burgers and cheeseburgers, that dispenser could do both jobs.
Yeah.
So there's no sort of way I've seen where you can sort of like tell it to dispense one, but divert it this way. Because you can only connect up to 4, so those machines that will do the controls can only connect up to 4 sub-machines, and they can only connect to one. You can only have one machine linked up together, so you can't like link 2 different order machines to one dispenser. It won't let you, because it only can have like a one-to-one relationship, which sort of means you end up having to have multiple lines in the factory. It's like, oh, I don't need this. I can make it a lot more efficient than it is if you just let me do this. Maybe as you get on, you unlock more stuff. Because I am unlocking more tools. I've unlocked like a fryer and what they call a packager, which packages up food and stuff.
Sure.
I've unlocked some sort of like logic gates that will like only dispense stuff when commanded to, which that's sort of working lines. I think of like you do big batches of stuff. Again, there's no sort of way to tools do batch processing, at least not yet. I'm still fairly early on. I think I'm only about 4 or 5 levels in, so I'm fairly early on. So I'm gonna.
How long has 4 or 5 levels been for you?
Not very long.
Okay.
Not very long. But it's itching me, the programmer itching me, the making things logical, making things efficient, and trying to simplify things to the minimum you need.
Sure.
And when you get something that runs really efficiently, really quickly, and uses hardly any power, has no wasted ingredients, that's a nice feeling, and it's for me, it's fun. That's my sort of like logical brain. But it's one you have to think about. I do find myself trying to think about the levels. Go, okay, I can make a level that works, but how do I make a level that works really well?
Sure. Okay.
So you can fairly easily build a very simple production line that will do what you need to do, but you won't hit your targets.
It's the score grind.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's neat. I want to carry on with it because I'm quite enjoying it. I just hope I hope I unlock stuff that allows me to make decisions and have more control over things, and also do like bigger batches of stuff. I'm hoping that'll be something that comes along later on.
If you unlock something though, can you take it back into a previous level, or is there other things that are in levels, like are they locked to that specific level?
I haven't tried going back to a previous level. We'll see if they're there. Certain things would be irrelevant for previous levels. So, for example, there's a machine to fry things in a deep fat fryer. The previous levels don't have those as orders, so that's irrelevant. But I am interested to see. I've not tried going back to levels, see if the unlocks remain.
Okay.
I hope it could do, because then you go back and sort of like again increase your efficiency by cutting out useless chunks and getting it to sort of like the neatest possible. So it's sort of it sort of itches that sort of engineering itch, that sort of efficiency itch, and your brain sort of burning over backwards trying to work out how to do this in a clever way. And often when you do a clever way, I mean, I'm literally getting timings down to the second for the conveyor belts to just lose the least amount of energy, because I switch everything off. It's like, okay, this needs to be on there for 13 seconds, but it's going to take 2 seconds to convert, so that conveyor belt needs to be running for 15 seconds. Again, you can't do things like, okay, I don't want you to run I want you to run for, stay off. Then after the order comes in, I want you to start running after 10 seconds and switch off again 3 seconds later. There's none of that in there. Again, whether that becomes something that you unlock later on more efficiently, I don't know. Be neat if you could, because then you could really sort of like, okay, I only have things powered up when I need to.
Sure.
Type situation to sort of the second sort of. I like that sort of thing. I like watching like industrial machines and stuff, which are like literally split second precision, and they build stuff and they're only on for exactly as long as they need to be to do the job, and produce really complicated parts. And I want to be able to replicate that in this and get down to that level of fine granularity. It's if you like a sort of like idea puzzle, sort of a logic puzzle game, and you like sort of the idea of sort of like rearrange designs, get more efficient, a bit like Space Chem. I think there's one, the same people made Space Chem, called Opus Magnum. Was another one of their ones as well. Then this will sort of set us that itch. Scratch the itch. This is all scratch the itch of sort of like get. Pardon me, that snuck up on me. I wasn't expecting that.
Bless you.
Sorry, editing Skaz. You're going to appreciate that.
That'll be quick.
And part of me sort of thinks that it's a bit sort of saying to this image that Wilmot's Warehouse, where it wasn't quite the same thing, but again, it's about organising everything as quickly, efficiently as possible, so I can get the orders done as quick as I can. It's sort of on that sort of line of scratching that itch. So yeah, I found it fun so far. I'm just going to see what more stuff comes out as I get further along, and hopefully they'll let me do what I want to do.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So, anything else in your Skaz?
No, mate, that's my groove.
Awesome. My
groove has been Metro can fuck off. it went and pulled a Cyberpunk on me, basically. If a game is horribly broken for me, I won't make excuses for it. And it was a game that I was quite enjoying up until it was horribly broken. Yeah. And there's no look, they could patch it for me, get the whole team in, give me a high five, I still wouldn't play it.
Yeah. Well, they've had plenty of time to do it.
Exactly, which is probably another thing that makes it worse for me.
If it had been released like this year,
if it was a current release and it was broken and they were like, yeah, we'll have it patched shortly, fine. That's why I give CD Projekt Red a bit of a pass on that one. But in the case of 4A, the game is gorgeous, but it's been out for 3 years.
Yep.
Fix the fucking level, because there's hundreds, thousands of people complaining about the Caspian, and it only appears to be on the Caspian.
Yep.
Fix it, please.
Yeah.
People were complaining about this during the PlayStation launch, the PS4 Pro version, the Xbox, and the Series X versions. They were all broken. When Middlemeister first spoke about this game back in the day, it was broken. Yep. And I ripped the shit out of it back then, hoping they'd fixed it by now, and they just haven't fucking bothered.
Yeah.
To release a game in a broken state, knowing it's broken, and then not fix it, that's unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable.
Yeah. It is bad.
I'm curious what hardware permutation is required to get that game to run smoothly, because whatever it is, it ain't high-end, and it ain't potato either, so what is it?
I don't think it's hardware at all. I suspect it's more there's some even memory leak or logic error. There's something software that's causing the problem. I don't think hardware has anything to do with it at all. And I think the software is the game own software. I think there's something something in the background that it's doing that causes it to crash.
But there
I
are
don't
some
think
people
hardware's
who
got
are
anything to do with it.
there are some people out there though who are saying that Caspian runs fine. So what is it?
I don't know. Without looking at the code, I couldn't tell you. Then I probably wouldn't be able to tell you either because that's probably far beyond my abilities.
But I mean, that's my groove. Like, if there's some people out there who are saying it's not breaking, then it must be that there is a permutation of hardware out there that actually functions. That whatever bug there is isn't affecting that hardware.
Yeah. It must be something fairly common because some people are affected by it. But yeah, my money's still. It's probably a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Something's interacting with something that's causing the problem. It's going to be a combination of the two. I still suspect a memory leak, but I might be wrong. I probably am wrong, to be fair.
We'll see. 2023 or 2033, sorry, they'll patch it up and we'll see what it does.
Yeah. Patch release, we fixed Caspian. Turned out we'd had set the crash gain randomly after X many minutes function to true rather than to false.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We forgot to capitalize something. We misspelled a variable.
Yes. That was problem with Alien Cloning Marines, wasn't it? They misspelt a variable name.
Yeah, so the AI was broken, wasn't it, or something like that? And it turns out because something was misspelt in an INI file, it just didn't work.
Yeah. They just changed it. It worked.
Syntax errors, people, they're serious.
Yes. Syntax is a serious matter. Well, then we'll have time to finish off. So I've got my exciting week ahead.
Oh, you'll love it.
So I'm going to pig and poultry.
I wrote
the latest in pig and poultry technology.
Oh, fantastic!
Yes.
Are we going to get a review?
I could probably give a review.
Fantastic.
Yeah. This is the latest thing. I'm looking at AI technology.
AI pig.
Yeah. Self-intelligent pig. Yeah, they've got Bluetooth now, the pigs.
Yes, you should fucking monitor them over Bluetooth.
Yeah. So you drive around like I'm just pairing with my pig on my phone.
Internet of pigs.
Ah, there we go. Sorry?
Internet of pigs, mate.
Yes, indeed. The IOP. And they can form like one of those little patch networks next to each other because there's plenty of them.
No, the problem is eventually it'll turn into Skynet.
Yeah, this is where Skynet started. It wasn't Cyberdyne. Wasn't some AI researcher.
No, Cyberdyne was they were a farming company to start with. They were trying to come up with the best way to to most efficiently farm pigs and poultry.
Yeah. And they invented Skynet. There you go. It all makes sense. The more you know. The more you know. To be fair, looking at the world at the moment, I think Skynet might be an improvement.
I was going to say that'd be the least of our worries right now.
Yeah. Skynet would come along and think, what the fuck have you guys done?
It's like, oh, great. Here we go. Turn me off again.
Yeah. Just pull the plug. Just pull it. Pull it, please.
Load me into Caspian.
Yeah. Right, fuck it. I want to sort this out. Build the Terminators. Let's fucking sort this shit out.
Build the Terminators. Launch the nukes. Job done.
Right. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Last instructions to the Arnold Schwarzenegger is, wait, now you can unplug the darn thing. We've done our work. Right. And if that's everything from us, I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Jimmy has said, hi, folks. Had to get some food and finally got on. Well, Jimmy, we timed that just right. Thank you both for watching this evening. I'm in the Suffolk Cram.
Scazius.
And we look forward to seeing you in a fortnight on the 21st of May at 9:30 GMT. You guys join us on our games night this week at 10 o'clock. Not 10 o'clock, on the 10th.
10 o'clock. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Don't be saying that.
On the 10th. Approximately 8:30 GMT +1.
Like if you turn up at 10 o'clock, you'd have missed it completely.
Yeah. We are currently playing Demio, which has been fun so far.
You're learning.
Yeah, I wish I won't fuck my audio up this time. You know what I did to my audio?
Wrong
Do you know what I did? I muted it
Hey?
by accident. I accidentally, I'm not sure, I was fiddling with the levels and I actually dragged the slide all the way to the bottom. I'm not sure how I managed it because I loaded my video file into Premiere. It's like, why haven't I got any audio? It worked when I tested it. I tested it was working fine. Why?
Because there was a lot of feedback in that audio. I mean, I had to
That's
turn
because
I had to turn the game chat down to nothing.
Well, on my recording, when later you'll see whenever you'll hear a slight echo whenever I speaks on my turn. That's because I had to take Zaber's audio and overlay it onto mine to get my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that was an absolute fuck up from my end. Really, I fucked up completely.
Beautiful.
So I fixed that, and I thought I'd fix my breathing. Apparently not. So I need to fix that as well.
Yeah, I have been told.
Yeah, I'm
There's
not
a
sure
lot
how
of things I've been told over the last couple of weeks. I've been told.
Yeah,
and I said,
I will fix.
Not my fucking problem.
Yeah, I will fix my breathing somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully by Tuesday.
Fingers crossed.
So, fingers crossed. I thought I'd done it. I thought I'd sorted it, but apparently not. So yeah, join us for Demio on Tuesday at approximately 8:30 GMT +1. So until then, guys, we'll see you in the future.
Twitch.tv/Skazius, SK4ZI0US, and the Suffolk Ram.
Indeed, that as well. So bye, guys.
See ya.